Hello and welcome everyone. I am Neha Fatima, and in this tutorial we are going to be diving into Figma and its features. So at the end of this video you'd be all set up to start designing. Before we hop on to the interface and talk about its functional features, let's get to know Figma a little bit more. So Figma is a design tool or software that is used for UI designing, web designing and a lot more. It is an all-in-one platform where you can wireframe, brainstorm, make user flows and also make your UIs and add interactions to them. It also has collaborative features which allow your teammates to collaborate in real time. There are a lot of other features as well that Figma keeps updating from time to time so that you can look forward to that. So to get started with Figma, you can head over to figma.com and log in directly from your browser or install the app on your PC. The best thing about Figma is that you can use it on any OS, be it Mac, Linux, or Windows. And if you are a student or an educator, you can avail the pro version of Figma for free, and all you have to do is head over to the pricing page and you'll be able to see the different plans that are available. You can see the starter pack, the professional plan, and the organizational plan. The professional plan is essentially $12 per month for general people, and for students and educators, you can avail it for free. So all you have to do is head over to that section and apply for it. You'll have to fill in a bunch of details, and that's it. You can log into it directly. So now let's head over to Figma and get started with it. So this is the dashboard that you can see. This is the Figma file. We already have a file open, and we'll be going through with all of these elements one by one. So on the top left side of your screen, you'll be able to see something called as the main menu. There are a ton of different options. We'll be exploring these as we go. Then you can see your scale and move options. Then you can see your frame and slice options. This is basically your artboard. Then you have your shape options like your rectangles and ellipse and polygon, and also adding in images. You can also see your pen and pencil tool, your text tool, your hand tool, and your comment tool. So if we talk about the pencil tool, it's basically it allows you to draw in anything that you like, and it considers it as an entire vector, so you can also select it together. You also have your pen tool, which is used for mainly vector designing as well. So if I draw something like that and connect the dots, I can also edit this and also use the pen tool. So right now I've used this pen tool to draw a little vector over here. I can also head over to my toolbar and select the bend tool to curve it basically right over here. So this is how the Figma's pen tool is used for making vectors as well, very useful. And then we can talk about our layers panel. So every element that you have in your canvas, this is the canvas in the center of the screen. So every element that you make over here, you'll be able to access it or view it in your layers panel. So if suppose I draw in a rectangle in here in the center part of my screen, you'll be able to see that a rectangle appears in my layers panel right here. So similarly, you can also see a lot of properties appearing on the right side of my screen. This is the properties panel. You can see your design, prototype, and inspect. It contains a lot of properties as well. So every element will have a different set of properties. So the properties for my rectangle will differ from my properties for a text element. So it depends from element to element. So now if we select our rectangle, you'll be able to see a ton of options appearing here on the top of your screen as well. So you can see something called as the edit object. So if I click on it, I'll be able to change the vector basically by selecting its nodes over here. I can also create components and use mask. We'll be coming back to this in a minute. So you can see also if you create another rectangle over here, and maybe draw out like this, you'll be able to see a ton of features again appearing over here. You can see your Boolean group options over here, so you can either add a union selection. So now this is one element, and you can also change this subtract selection, so it'll add in to achieve different shaped objects as well. So you can also exclude your selection or change this to your flatten selection, so this will make this an entire vector. So right now this is in an irreversible state, that is a vector. So now let's head back Okay, so we've got our rectangles right over here. So when I select my rectangle, you'll be able to notice that on the right side of my screen, a ton of properties appear over here. And when I move it around, you'll see that the X and Y properties keep changing. Alright, so this is the positioning of the object that you can see moving over here, and the width and height of the element of the rectangle that I've selected is what you will be able to see from over here. You can also change the rotation of this element by changing this to maybe 120 degrees or 10 degrees or whatever it is. And you can also change the corner radius of this element by adding in numbers right over here, 30 or maybe 500. So you can see the corner radius has been increased. You can also increase the corner smoothing by pressing on these little three dots and increasing the corner smoothing as well. So you can see this is how elements are made. You can also look at the blending options over here. There are a ton of blending options. You can turn them on or off. You can also see the fill property, and in the fill property you'll be able to see that there are a ton of fill styles as well. So you can add in linear gradient or a radial gradient onto the same element, or you can use your color picker to change the color of the element that you've selected. You can also use the eyedropper tool. So eyedropper tool is essentially used to draw a color from any other element. So say suppose I have a rectangle drawn right over here, and I change the fill color of this to maybe a blue shade, and I want this rectangle of mine to have the same color as well. So all I have to do is select it, head over to my fill properties section and use the eyedropper tool to fetch the color from this element. I'm going to select it and draw my color from here. Right, so you can see right now I have the color in this rectangle as well. So this is how the fill property works. You can also see the section which says stroke. The stroke is basically your outline. So maybe if I increase it to 10 pixels, you'll be able to see it a little more clearly. Again, over here you can change the property, the style to solid, linear, radial, or anything that you'd like. You can also select the color from your color picker and also use the eyedropper tool for your stroke as well. Another property that we will be able to see is the effects property. So in the effects property, you can add in your drop shadows, inner shadows, a background blur, a ton of different properties. So if you've seen all these design trends going on like neumorphism and glassmorphism, so these are essentially achieved by playing with the shadows. So shadows play a very important part in all of this. So now that we've covered elemental properties, you can also see that you can export a particular element. So if I click on export, you'll be able to see it shows different formats in which I can export my particular element in PNG, JPG, SVG, or PDF format. I can also preview my element before I export it. So there are a ton of features as well. So now let's make a simple artboard and see how we work with it. All right. So I'm going to head over to my tools bar and select a frame from the drop down and just have it over here. So right now you can see a frame appears right now in my layers panel. I'm just going to quickly add in a rectangle inside it. So let's head over to a tools bar and select R. Again, all these tools and shapes have hotkeys. So you can either get familiarized with the hotkeys so that you can design faster, or head over to your tools bar and select them from the drop down over here every time. That's completely fine. So right now I have this rectangle inside my frame. Another thing that you'll notice is that in my layers panel, this rectangle is inside my frame. It is not above it, it is not below it, it is inside my frame. So make sure every time you're making a layout or a frame or a screen, you'll be able you have all your elements inside your frame. All right, so right now we have this, and you can also see another property appearing here on the right side of your screen, that is constraints. So constraints basically allows you to fix the position or make the element stick to one side of your frame or artboard. So right now, if I head over to my properties panel and change this to scale, that is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So if I change both of them to scale and change the height and width of my frame one that I've selected in my canvas, you can see that the aspect ratio changes just the way I want it to. So right now I've allowed it to scale. If maybe I want it to be centered, let's see how that works. Alright, so I'm just going to head over and select my frame, and right now again you'll be able to see that my element is trying to center itself with respect to the artboard. Similarly, if I change the elements positioning constraint to left and right, the same thing happens. Fixed positioning while scrolling is another feature that we'll be talking about later in the upcoming videos. But yeah, so you've got an essence of how elements are placed inside an artboard, inside a frame, and how to use them. So the next thing would be to talk about prototyping. So prototyping is basically adding an interaction, switching from one screen to another, and that all that is pretty simple. Let's quickly cover that up as well. Alright, so right now I have my frame, and maybe I want an interaction to happen on click of this little button over here. So all I'm going to do is duplicate my frame 1 and bring it right over here. So I'm just pressing Alt on my keyboard and dragging it so that I create another frame. So you can either use Alt and drag to duplicate a frame, or you can press Ctrl D on your keyboard to duplicate any particular frame. Right now I'm just going to change this to its height to a little bit bigger version, and I'm going to change the fill property of this to maybe a light shade of blue or dark shade of blue. Alright, so right now let's add in a simple prototyping or an interaction. Again, we will be talking about everything in detail in the upcoming videos, but here in the right side of your screen, in the properties panel, you'll be able to see three sections, alright? Your design, prototype, and inspect. So design, we're already familiar with it because we spoke about all of these properties. And in the prototype section is basically where you add in your interactions. So say suppose I want my interaction to happen on click of this particular element. So I'm just going to select this element, and you can see, head over to my prototype section, and you can see this little round option appear. I'm just going to select that and drag it to my frame 2. Alright, so now you can see the interaction details modal pops up, and maybe I'm going to change the interaction to on click, navigate to frame 2, and I want the animation to happen smart animate. Basically you'll see why I chose that. So now let's play the animation. Alright, so right now we have the frame, the artboard that we created, the two frames. And right now I'm just going to hover over my rectangle, and you can see when I hover over my rectangle, my cursor also changes. So when I click on it, my rectangle changes into a blue rectangle. So if I take you back to my canvas, you'll be able to see that when I click on this particular element, I want my other frame, the rectangle, to expand and to turn into a blue color, which is exactly what is happening right here. So when I click on this element, it changes into a large blue color. Okay, so now that is it for the prototyping section. Let's talk about the other features that we are left out with. So the top right corner of your screen, you'll be able to see your profile. So basically all of the profiles will appear over here, the number of people that are working on the same file. So if you're working with a teammate, their profile will be basically available to you over here. And you can also share the file with others. So if you click on the share modal, you'll be able to see this pop-up window. You can either make the link available to everyone and share the link with your friends. Basically here again, you'll have to change the setting to anyone with the link in case you want to submit the link somewhere, or restrict the access by changing it to only people invited to this file, and change this file to specific people by adding their email IDs. And also you can get the embed code. So if you want to include your Figma file in your portfolio or a blog, you can definitely get the embed code from here and include it in your project. So that is it for today. Thank you so much everyone for joining me today. I hope you could draw something valuable from this video. And if you did, please leave a like and let me know in the comments if you have any doubts. Please subscribe, and also thank you so much for watching.